Caitlin Clark is box office. She is a star. And Angel Reese is to be completely believed that there's no hate. They both get along. They're cool with each other. They're high-end competitors, etc., etc. And you also are old enough to know that in this society, whether they want to admit it or not, they don't like seeing somebody black coming at somebody white who is a beloved star of theirs. But you've known they were coming for you when you were waving your hands in your face to mock Caitlin Clark when you were beating her for the national championship.
Why is the WNBA letting its biggest star slip through the cracks? Caitlin Clark has single-handedly boosted the league's viewership, but Stephen A. Smith says the WNBA is treating her like just another player. What's really going on behind the scenes? And could their approach be driving fans away? Let's break it down. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button?
Great.
Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Stephen A. Smith isn't known for sugarcoating anything.
WNBA Player of the Week. There have only been 40 triple-doubles in the history of the WNBA. Cheryl Swoops recorded the first WNBA triple-double during the 1999 season, while Caitlin Clark logged the most recent triple-double earlier this week. She now has 102 on the season and is 19 away from Diana Taurasi in second place and 26 away from UNESCO of the New York Liberty. She ain't beating A'ja Wilson for the MVP, but she's beating Angel Reese for the Rookie of the Year. That's a wrap. That's over. And props to Angel Reese, who's had a good year, by the way.
And when it comes to the WNBA, he's been as blunt as ever. His recent criticism of the league zeroed in on one undeniable point. They're completely mishandling Caitlin Clark. According to Smith, she's not just another name in the lineup. She's the kind of player who can redefine the WNBA's future. And the numbers, they're already proving him right. Let's talk about those stats first. When Caitlin Clark is on the court, people tune in. She's the type of athlete who can get casual fans to sit down and watch an entire game. During her matchups in the NCAA tournament, Clark was pulling in an average of over 178 million viewers. Fast forward to when she's not playing, or even when she's overshadowed and the viewership plummets, like the dip to just 394,000 seen earlier this season. That's practically disappearing off the radar. What does that tell you? To Smith, it's glaringly obvious. Caitlin Clark is the main attraction. The WNBA isn't leaning into that enough. And according to him, it's a huge missed opportunity. It's not just TV numbers highlighting Clark's influence. Let's zoom in on the Indiana Fever for a second. Now, this team hasn't exactly been the hottest ticket in the WNBA until Clark showed up. Whenever she's on their schedule, attendance spikes like crazy. People are showing up to see her, not to casually support the opposing team. That's the power of a generational player. Yet, as Smith pointed out, it's like the league is treating her as if she's any other rookie. They're blowing it on every level. Marketing, promotion, even the way they handle her on the court. And speaking of the court, this is where things get even messier. One of Smith's biggest complaints centers around how the league is failing to protect Clark from overly aggressive, sometimes downright disrespectful play. If you're even vaguely familiar with her career, then you know she's taken some hard fouls and has been on the receiving end of what Smith calls reckless tactics. And sure, basketball is physical. It's part of the sport. But go too far, and you risk turning excitement into outrage. Smith's argument: by not standing up for her or setting some boundaries, the league is not only failing Clark, but also disrespecting what she brings to the WNBA. Clark isn't your typical rising star.
You knew they were going to come for you. You had to know that. Now, to the degree that they're doing so, I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from. You had a decisive advantage because they made the mistake of letting you know who they are, whoever those people are. That's not the case with all. It's not the case with most. But those who screech the loudest get the most attention sometimes. And that's what the worst of cynics and critics do.
Smith said that what sets her apart is how she's fundamentally changing the way people interact with women's basketball. People aren't just casually flipping the channel when she's playing. They're making time for her games. You want evidence of her cultural impact? Look at social media. Clips of Clark breaking ankles or drilling threes from the logo constantly make the rounds online. Even fans who might never have watched a single WNBA game before are stopping to say, "Wait, who is this? This is someone who could carry the league to new heights." And Smith made it clear that treating her like just another rookie isn't just unfair. It's a straight-up blunder. And while Smith didn't mince words, he also posed a question that other fans are wondering. What is the WNBA thinking? How do you take what could be your golden ticket to national relevance and mishandle it so badly? By his logic, the league should already be working double time to turn Clark into a household name, making sure everyone knows exactly why she's special. Yet instead, they're seemingly content to let things play out naturally. Smith says that's a dangerous move, one that could end up costing the league dearly if fans lose interest. Because here's the thing, when it comes to most sports, excitement doesn't sustain itself. You have to work to amplify it. And the tough love didn't end there either. Smith also hinted that if the WNBA isn't careful, they might fumble their best shot yet at long-term growth. Caitlin Clark isn't just a star now. She has the potential to be a once-in-a-generation icon. But that kind of impact doesn't happen in isolation. A league has to nurture it, protect it, make the most of every opportunity to highlight the player that everyone's talking about. Smith made it clear the league's lack of urgency is what's holding it back. And what they're risking is bigger than just Clark's career. They're risking the future of the WNBA itself. And here's the kicker. This controversy isn't just about Clark. Smith brought up other players who are caught up in this tangled web, particularly Angel Reese. The tension surrounding these names goes deeper than just basketball, creating narratives that could either fuel the WNBA's growth or drag it into unnecessary chaos. It's like Smith is practically begging the league to wake up and realize what's at stake here. Because this isn't just about poor management. It's about respecting the talent that's finally bringing more eyes to the game. And right now, they're not doing nearly enough. What if the WNBA's biggest problem isn't just mismanagement, but a rivalry that's threatening to tear things apart? Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have been the center of attention ever since their heated clash in the 2023 NCAA National Championship game. That moment where Reese taunted Clark with her gestures lit up the internet and turned into one of the most controversial storylines in college basketball. And now that bad blood has followed them straight into the WNBA. Stephen A. Smith didn't waste time calling out what he sees as the core issue here, jealousy. He believes Angel Reese and possibly even other players are frustrated by the meteoric rise of Caitlin Clark. Smith has hinted that there's a wedge forming in the league. Not because Clark isn't deserving of her shine, but because some players seemingly resent the amount of attention she's receiving. It's not exactly surprising either. Clark exploded into the national spotlight basically overnight, drawing comparisons to some of the biggest stars in basketball, while others, like Reese, feel they're getting overlooked despite their own accolade. Let's rewind to that infamous championship game for a second. You remember Reese's taunt, right? The way she threw it in Clark's face after LSU won the title. Some people thought it was fair game, just an intense show of swagger. But for others, it crossed a line. It became more than just a moment on the court. It turned into a symbol of division between the two players. Fast forward to their rookie WNBA season in 2024, and all eyes were already on any interaction between them. The opening night game between the Chicago Sky and Indiana Fever set the tone. Reese and Clark didn't just play, they battled. And every little stare, word, and shove was magnified by the cameras. People weren't just watching basketball, they were watching drama unfold. Smith isn't shy about his stance here. He's pointed out that Reese's attitude toward Clark could be seen as part of a bigger pattern. The comments, the gestures, the subtle jabs, it all speaks to what he sees as a lack of recognition for what Clark is doing for the league. Caitlin Clark isn't just electrifying the sport with her long threes and flashy assists. She's bringing in an entirely new wave of fans. People who never cared about the WNBA before are now buying tickets and tuning in because of her. But Smith believes players like Reese aren't recognizing that value, instead letting jealousy cloud the opportunity to unite and grow the league's relevance. He also doesn't hold back when addressing how this rivalry could go two very different directions. On one hand, Smith sees the potential. He called it a gold mine for the WNBA, comparing it to the iconic Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson rivalry that essentially saved the NBA in the 1980s. Think about it. Bird and Magic weren't just competitors. They were opposites in every way, and yet, their battles on the court drew millions of eyeballs and turned basketball into a cultural phenomenon. Smith firmly believes Clark and Reese could have that same impact for the WNBA if the league plays its cards right, capitalizing on this rivalry, hyping it up, marketing it, turning it into must-watch television, could bring in massive revenue and an entirely new fan base. But there's a flip side. According to Smith, if this rivalry becomes toxic, it could do irreversible damage. We're already seeing hints of division. Whether it's Reese feeling like she's being overshadowed or Clark brushing off some of the drama with her calm confidence, the tension is there. And it's not just between them, it's spilling into how their teams face off, how their fans interact online, and even how the media frames every game they play.